County Board of Education meeting in order.
That's all right.
I'd like to ask Mr. Waters to lead us in a word of prayer, please.
Let's pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask you to forgive us from our sins, Lord. Help us as we make decisions tonight that's going to affect many generations down the road. God, we just ask for your love and your mercy. And God, we worship and praise you in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you.
We will remain standing. We got Troop 914, or Girl Scout Troop 914 is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Gwen's got them all ready to go. After the pledge, we've asked that each one of them just tell us their name and what school they're from. So after the pledge, everyone can sit down after the pledge, and then we're going to listen to each one of them introduce themselves. The floor is yours, lady.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is Emma Woodruff. She goes to Ridgeview.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Stevens, and I go to Jonesboro Elementary. My name is Lily Chowton, and I go to Jonesboro Elementary. I am Brianna Glenn, and I go to Grandview Elementary. I am Isla Russell, and I go to Grandview Elementary.
And I'm Isabel Whalen, and I go to Crockett.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you all. Next on the agenda is going to get a motion for consideration of meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, please, Jennifer.
Voting is open.
Yeah, electronic.
Just kick me out. How do you vote? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Huddlestone, how do you vote?
Yes.
All approved.
Thank you. Mr. Boyd.
Thank you. We have several guests tonight, and we'll begin. I'm honored to introduce Dr. Churchwell from Grandview Elementary School to introduce our special guests from the school. Here's some presentation from them.
Hello, and thank you so much for having us tonight. Our presentation is going to be made from our Junior Beta Club, and they're going to come up, and our leaders are Miss Sarah Ratliff and Miss Sandy Keys.
Grandview received Level 5 status and awarded school status for our hard work and academic growth. After coming back from a difficult year, we are very proud of this achievement.
Almost 1,200 people attended our Back to School Bash. There, we were able to meet teachers, gain important school information, to see our friends, and pick up school supplies and materials.
The last Monday of each month, we have a school-wide EPIC morning meeting. There we celebrate EPIC students from each grade level and an EPIC teacher. Then we provide them with a special lunch donated by Little Caesars of Jonesboro.
Our first graders are participating in the iSlice program. This program introduces STEAM and digital learning into elementary classrooms. Grandview and UH are the only two schools that are participating.
This year, we are working with the TVA's Energy Route program called School Uplift is helping us make smarter energy choices, saving money on energy bills, and reducing our impact on the environment.
For Bus Driver Appreciation Week, we treated our bus drivers to breakfast and presented them with treat bags. At Grandview, we appreciate the hard work our bus drivers do every day.
Students at Grandview are able to participate in a variety of activities, including Beta, Art Club, Media Team, and various athletic teams.
On October 24th, our Beta Club participated in National Impact Day. As a club, we decided to impact our school by volunteering in the cafeteria. We had a great time helping younger students and impacting our school with kindness. Our FCA meets each Friday morning and has an average attendance of 22. This year we are participating in Operation Christmas Child and taking donations for our school's community closet.
Our girls basketball team won the state championship with an undefeated 24-0 season last year. The team was coached by Catherine and Xavier May.
Grandview's cross country placed first or second in several regional races and qualified for state and Knoxville, Tennessee.
Our Grandview boys and girls track teams qualified for state. Our girls received 4th place overall in state qualifications. Our Grandview girls soccer team had a wonderful year and qualified for the summer finals.
Football is a favorite sport at Grandview. Our community and team spirit is evident at our games.
This year in volleyball, we had a young team with only 3 8th graders. However, their record improved throughout the season, showing their hard work and dedication.
Kaylee Dykes received first place at the 4-H Chick Chain with her champion black wash groups.
Luke Miller, a 4th grader at Grandview, was chosen as WVUJHL Student Weatherman. It was fun to watch a Grandview student participate on the news.
Students in grades K through 4 participated in our 50th Day of School celebration.
Last month, we held Book Night with over 400 in attendance. We had a great time playing games, dancing, and picking out a favorite book. As Beta Club students, we represent all students at Grandview Elementary. We enjoy student life at Grandview and feel privileged to be a Grandview people. We appreciate the opportunity we have been given at Grandview and would like to thank Mr. Boyd and all the other board members for allowing us to showcase life at Grandview, where we are always growing exceptional students.
My name is Max Sanders.
My name is Sierra Williams.
My name is Kid Bullock.
My name is Andrew Keener.
My name is Ava Sanders. My name is Giselle Delatorre.
Thank you all. Well done.
Really know how to clean out house.
As Zach said, we'll move to our next guest, Art Rambo, about the Crockett Scholarship, Memorial Scholarship.
I hope I brought it up. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm Art Rambo, and I'm here representing the David Crockett class of 1982. We just had our 40th class reunion. It was held the first weekend of October, homecoming game for David Crockett High School. And part of the planning, we discovered that we know of at least 34 classmates that's passed out of a class of approximately 330. And I don't know, it just hit us hard. And that may be a normal percentage, 10%. I don't know, but we wanted to do something in honor of those members of our class. So we started about, a plaque, this, that. And a good friend of mine, classmate Joe Huffine, decided to come up with an idea of establishing a scholarship. We have established a scholarship just this month with ETSU, called the David Crockett High School Class of 82 Memorial Scholarship. We've got approximately $13,500 in pledges from our class. We've got about $6,000 that we raised during just the weekend of the reunion. And we're shooting for it to get to 25,000 minimum for an endowment, so go on perpetuity. Of course, we want it to be more than that. But I don't know, we just, we had our 40th class reunion, hadn't seen each other for 30 years. Last class reunion we had was 10 years, and we kind of wanted to do something to, I don't know, leave a legacy of Crockett students. And to my knowledge, there's only one other scholarship at ETSU, that's Unicoi County High School does one. So I'm here not to ask for money, just to get the word out. I'm going to be going to other places and telling people about it, former classmates. It could be class of 1970, class of 1990. We just come up with the name of class of 82 at the time. So it's for anybody that's went to Crockett or knows that somebody goes to Crockett. So I just want to put it out there. I'm not soliciting money from y'all individually, but you're welcome to participate. So what we've established initially is to be a Crockett student and give a scholarship of $500 a semester just for 1 year. Obviously, we want that to be more than that, but we wanted to start it as quick as we can, so it'll start this fall. And then once we get the money up, where you can start doing maybe a 4-year scholarship, 1,000, 2,000, whatever. But here's the uniqueness about it. We will not pick the student. When they apply to go to ETSU, and we picked ETSU just because they're in our county. And a lot of us went to ETSU. They do all the work. They keep up the money. And when a student from David Crockett High School applies at ETSU, one of the processes when you go through the Hope Scholarship, and I'm not sure what all, they automatically get put into candidate for this class. And here's the uniqueness of it. Just be a 1-year scholarship, total of $1,000 at least right now. We want that to grow. And I'm just trying to get the message out. Here's the uniqueness about it. Here's the qualifiers. If you look at item number 3 on the first page, student must have a GPA of 2.7 to 3.5 at the time of application. The kids, and this, I think I might have fitted into that category. I think, but I definitely wasn't one of the 4032 ACT people. They're getting the scholarships. And we wanted to do something for somebody who maybe their sophomore year, their parents went through a divorce, didn't do well academically. So I guess it's an academic scholarship, but we purposely picked that range to get some of the kids that maybe not get included on, because if somebody's got a better than a 4.0 average and a 34 on AC, they're getting a lot of stuff. And then part of the reason we chose ETSU, because one, they were easy to work with. One, they're in Washington County. A lot of kids go to ETSU, I did. You know, a lot of us, I know I grew up working jobs on the farm, this, that, playing sports. Maybe I didn't excel at high school grades, you know, and I think there's a lot of people like me. I just want to let everybody know about this. The contact ETSU is Karen Sullivan, and there's her email address. I would say you're more than welcome to communicate with me, but she's the lady, she's got it down. But we just wanted to do something, started out just to honor some of our past classmates, but now we're kind of getting excited about maybe we can make this thing into something and maybe have 7 or 8 kids from Crockett getting full ride scholarships or something, you know, don't know. This is the first, we had our class reunion, our 40th class reunion first weekend in October, the Crockett homecoming game. So, and that's when we got with our classmates, and at that time, we raised over $5,000 just that weekend, just from Crockett classmates, and we've got pledges over $13,000. I think there's been some people actually donated already, but if you look, the first page is kind of a synopsis. Second page, I think, if I put it in there, I don't have one in front of me, it shows how you can go online, and you know, if you just want to give $100 one time, whatever. But we're I don't know, we're just proud of what we're wanting to do, but we want to do more than obviously $1,000 a year scholarship. But just information. That's why I'm here, getting it out, getting the word out. That's it. So, anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Class of 82 and
Art.
other alumni.
Art,
Yes.
have you thought about maybe doing a male and a female?
Yeah, I think that's where if we can get a little bit more money, because once we get to $25,000, it becomes an endowment. And that's what we want to get to first. But yes, we can change the qualifications, make one a male, one a female. Right now, we're letting each issue just pick.
Let them pick.
Yeah, but no, that would be good, and we'd like to get it to where, I've not talked to everybody in the community yet. This is my first talk, so just want to get the word out, and I appreciate it.
And my suggestion, Mr. Rambo, would be just to maybe put a name there, David Crockett alumni established by the class of 1982.
Okay.
That way it makes it more inclusive, but that sounds
Yeah,
great.
but this is open to, you don't have to go to Crockett, but this is anybody from 1970 on, so. So we're kind of proud of it, but now the hard work is getting the money to actually make it something that'll benefit kids 30 years from now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Gosh, I can't believe 1982 and I graduated in 84. Shoot.
Don't even get me started.
You should have graduated in 82.
Yeah.
No.
Homecoming court and recent reunion.
This may catch on though to other groups, like we're having our 50th next year. So that's something that may, I know, it's shocking. Something that may catch on.
Next person we just have is just a presentation to the board is WCA, Ms. Hensley.
And I had a little part to do with this. My husband was on the planning committee, Mr. Hensley, for the class of 82.
Class of 82.
And I'm class of 81, so. And then I have a cousin who is deceased from the class of 82, and I have, pledged for her memory. So, and I saw my grandson's picture up there for going to state with cross country. I wasn't expecting that. And thank you so much for moving the teacher's voice up on the agenda. What I'd like to talk about is no surprise to anybody. We all work for a public school system, and we work with public school children, public school community, and we want the community to be successful, a great place to be educated and to live. We all have that in common, but not everybody has that in common. Unfortunately, some of our leaders in Nashville don't share that. And they attack public education, and they want to privatize education. And it's the regular person or the people, who work with kids, or the people who pay attention, people who vote, who need to find out if they're pro-public education. That's who they need to vote for on Tuesday. We may have to step out of our party line. It becomes more of a, what's their platform instead of what's their party. Tennessee has in its constitution, I just want to read it, from Article 11, Section 12, and you may be familiar with it. The state of Tennessee recognizes the inherent value of education and encourages its support. So that could be any, The General Assembly shall provide for the maintenance, support, and eligibility standards of a system of free public schools. And that free public schools is where we fall. So, being in this business together, if we haven't already voted, we need to seek and search for those who are in support of public education. And one more thing. Tennessee Vols or Halloween or none of my business.
Tennessee Vols.
Okay. As always, thank you for your opportunity, my opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Henson.
Mike,
Yes.
I know I had asked for that to be done, and I thank you for allowing her to be moved further in the agenda. Thank you.
No problem. Next on the agenda is, can I get a motion to approval of meeting minutes, please?
I need to,
Second.
no, that wasn't mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a,
Never mind, I'll second your motion.
Will you vote, Jennifer, please?
Oh, what did I do now?
I was in the wrong
Voting
place
is
in the
open.
meeting.
Told you so. All approved.
All right, Mr. Boyd, announcements.
Just to run through the list, we had a CIA, or I guess a HUE meeting. Also, we had a CIA meeting. A lot of meetings today. The county commission was today. On the agenda was request for funding for playground. And that's on the agenda. And likely, I guess, will be discussed. School visits Monday scheduled. The final 2 school visits of the whole series is scheduled to begin in Sulphur Springs on Monday. And we'll begin at Sulphur Springs at 8 o'clock, and we'll depart and be at Ball Branch around 9:45 and finish around 11. Those are our last two schools to visit. They've gone very well so far, I believe. Feedback from each of you and others that have attended. Feedback from the school. They like the format that the board recommended. It'd be a little less more, some have termed it free range. So, yeah, free range board members running through the building. Yeah. But anyway, the feedback's been positive. And just a reminder, budget committee next week. And then also next week, towards the end, beginning on Wednesday, is the TSBA annual convention. All of you are enrolled, and we'll see you all down there. And we also have at that time, on Friday, we have a scheduled retreat meeting to discuss long-range planning. One of the main items on that discussion. We do have a board workshop scheduled for November. As you can see, it's November 22nd at 5 p.m. In this room. And then we roll into Thanksgiving break. So certainly every day of the year there's something to be thankful for, but this month we all focus on that, and particularly that week. Schools will be closed that week on after Tuesday. And this office then will be closed after Wednesday for the rest of that Thanksgiving week. Then also the full county commission, all of you have been, at least have received emails about the concern around Bitcoin. But there's a lot of other items on their agenda that's certainly a huge item for the community. So all of you that can attend, I encourage you to be there to listen to the conversations and the deliberation. December 1st is our board meeting, and on that agenda, as is noted, that's my annual evaluation that'll be publicly shared at that board meeting, which also includes any discussion about my contract. And that's all.
The legislative.
That's an important one. We all have a scheduled legislative meeting with our representatives and senators on that day at 9 a.m. We'll probably, the best location, more casual location would be downstairs. And all 3 of our legislators have confirmed their attendance. So look forward to seeing Representative Hicks, Representative Alexander, and Senator Crow. Of course, that could change with the election. I have to say that with an asterisk. But at the time that we've sent these invitations out, those are currently our representatives in Nashville.
And also, we will tell you where we're meeting at Friday when we find out when we get down there Thursday or Friday morning. So, and I think everybody's done their evaluations. So, good deal. Okay, next is superintendent's report.
All right, I want to turn it over to Raven Dixon from David Crockett. She has some information to share with us about Crockett.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
You're welcome to go in front, but you can do it here, however you're comfortable, whatever you're comfortable. All right.
It's a roller chair.
Yeah. Be careful walking down the stairs.
Hello, my name is Raven. I'm going to be presenting this presentation today. Okay. So, my presentation is going to be on Washington County schools and what's been going on for the past month, so October. So we're starting with Gray Elementary. They had their fall and closing tonight, and they had each classroom where teachers shared reading strategies with families, and then they also had community members share in the reading fund by reading to students on hay bales. And then they also decorated pumpkins with their homerooms as part of their fall illumination.
I like that Elvis pumpkin.
I did too. So, Davy Crockett Key Club has got with the CDC teachers and decided that we wanted to do something with them, and we painted pumpkins. And we enjoyed it so much that we are now doing something with them every holiday, and we're going to do turkeys for Thanksgiving. So, South Central participated in Red Ribbon Week, and that's where the Sheriff's Department and the Fire Department got together and did a presentation for them. And so there's that. And then Kitty Jo, she's a student at Crockett, and she's very lucky because she got into the Quest Bridge, which is something that helps her get into a very prestigious college. So she's very lucky, and she's very excited. And then Grandview, which was here tonight, they're doing their STEM, and their, I guess it's, I don't know how to pronounce that, I guess it is, and then their Beta Club participated in their National Impact Day. And then David Crockett Magical Singers, we had a performance at the McKinney Center for Storytown, and we got to sing 2 songs, and we got to dance, and it was really fun because we also got to listen to some scary stories. So, and then Boone's Creek, they are getting a sensory room, which I thought was really cool. And it's for the students with special needs to have a sensory break, which will help them throughout their day at school. And then our FFA got to go to their 95th annual National FFA Convention in Expo. And I talked to the president, who is also in Key Club, and he said that they were very excited and grateful that they got to go. And then Silver Springs, they had their fall festival, and then they also had their literacy night, and then they also, during school, got to dress up in neon colors as a Bright Ideas to Save Energy. And then Jonesboro, they had their fall festival as well, and I heard they had a big turnout with all the inflatables and all the people, so. And that's all I have.
Can we back up a couple slides there?
So which one?
Where it says they're getting a new CTE lab there.
Oh yes, they're learning new CTE techniques and labs, so it's like kind of like the STEM thing at Grandview. So it's just new ways for them to learn.
Is that a part of one of the grants that we got, or was it just something that?
It's a portion of it.
It's a portion of it.
Any questions or comments, concerns?
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Very good.
Thank you guys for letting me present to you guys.
And And then the rest of the items under the superintendent's reports are just that, reports submitted, no action required, it's for public record. You have enrollment update, field trip request, reports that don't require board action, which are any field trips that aren't out of state or overnight. And of course, the maintenance report, personnel report, grants are there as well.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Next on the agenda, can I get a motion for consideration of our consent agenda?
I would like to pull an item off of that
Okay.
and place it back on the workshop for next month, and that would be the playground portion.
Item 8C2.
Is that a motion?
That is in the form of a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Can we vote, Jennifer, please?
Sorry. Voting's open. All approved.
Okay, now can I get a motion for consideration of consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's go vote again, please, Jennifer.
Voting's open. Mr. Sherman?
Keith?
I'm coming. Paying attention. Sorry.
All approved.
Fire.
Thank you. Next is discussion and presentation. I'll let you start, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, sir. This item is the culinary arts program at Crockett, the updates of the ovens. A lot of discussion. We have gotten Lewis Group involved. Dr. Adams has been working on that. We have some information based on questions about fire marshal requirements. The fire marshal, the local fire marshal, was included in the conversation. The answer we got was most likely it would require a commercial hood. And what would happen then, the next step would need to be Lewis Group finalize the drawings so it can be reviewed by the fire marshal's office to be considered for approval. But the feedback we got in listening to the scope of what would be in that room, the statement is yes, likely it needs to be a commercial hood. So this is just really a request for consideration to move forward with those drawings so that we can then seek fire marshal approval and then move to the next stage.
So you just need a motion to move forward that. So I make that motion that we move forward with the Lewis Group for the hoods for the culinary that have been waiting on for the last couple of years.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Discussion?
I would like to add, if we could, some bit in there to where we possibly limit or cap the funds for that. Because at some point you outspend the usefulness of your addition of the stoves due to different weights. So, I don't know how we maintain that. But we just need to move forward with this to
Yes.
get to that point.
Yeah, I would suggest move forward with the design phase, the full architectural engineering design, and then go out to bid, and then you all make that decision. And then if it needs to be scaled back based on the bids, or even pre-bid, if we set the limit then.
So my motion would need to include that those bids be released.
If you will add that to your motion, please.
So do you have a clue of what the architect fee would be on this? Is it?
It's
5%,
6% of the cost of the
Cost
project.
of it.
And my understanding is there's only one oven that is not bought by DCHS. Is that correct? So if something came back and we needed to scale back one, that one was bought by the county. I think.
We bought all the ovens.
Yeah.
They're all in storage.
So you're planning on
Yeah,
putting
but-
them ovens in?
At this point, that's part of the
Okay.
intent, yes.
And I think what Whitney was getting at, if we can get away from gas, it might be cheaper to put them in. That's something I guess is that what you kind of was thinking?
Yeah, if you have to do what, I heard him toss the figure of $100,000 for a hood system there. If we get into a $250,000 project or more for 5 ovens, you know, we may need to rethink what we're doing and do a different time.
Right.
It's just my thoughts on it.
And I think in the final design phase before bid, I mean, we can even work with the architectural firm to have an alternate if an electric top would then result in a different level of design for the hoods. Then I think we can include that in the bidding process as an alternate.
I think that needs to be mentioned to the architects.
You know, but then that would mean, of course, then we would have to surplus the ones we bought and sell those, and then pursue buying a different type of a range.
I was under the impression that culinary at DCHS bought those. Is that not?
Culinary doesn't have the money, no. It's bought through CT funds at the board level.
Okay, that was I was under the impression they had raised the money for this. I wasn't under the impression that we had bought them all.
You may be more aware than I am. I mean, that was already done when I arrived on the scene. But my understanding is I did not believe that to be the case. Because Ms. Fink was involved in the purchase and utilizing CT funds from the district level.
Can you get that clarified?
Brad can probably know. Do you know, Brad?
I remember the purchase orders, it did not go through the school funds.
It was a district purchase.
Through the district.
Okay.
I can pull the purchase orders, but I remember signing those.
Ms. Walters?
Mr. Irvin, was you saying, like, if the architects get to a certain point and they know that we're gonna have to do something else, not to design it out, let us know?
Well, I think we need to get, or actually both, we're not gonna spend $250, I'm like Whitney, I'm not gonna spend $250,000 to put a commercial hood in there. I just don't think we need to go that route.
I just don't want them to design one and know halfway through that we don't need that one and charge us for it and then have to redesign another one and us have to pay for that too. I was trying to clarify what you were saying.
I think that once they get involved and they see what we're doing, maybe they'll know more about it than anybody will.
I think to Mr. Riddle's point, I mean, even without formal action of the board, we could say, you know, the concerns of this, and we don't need to we need it designed in a way that's safe, that can be approved and will be approved by the farm marshal. It's functional, and also that is most cost effective.
Any more discussion?
Let me correct something. I'm correcting myself. There was part of those studies that you go through activity funds. There was part that went through district. It's been about a year, but I will have all of the purchase orders pulled.
So if I recall, each stove owner was approximately $3,500 a piece. Is that correct?
So from memory, I'm thinking it's over 5,000. I don't know why.
It may be even more.
I don't know why the number 58 or 5,900.
Okay, so if they did raise enough money to purchase one, the rest of the money probably was matched.
Now that I'm thinking about that purchase, I think that if there was some through the school funds, then you have some at district level.
Yeah, Jessica Gorley, they raised money and bought part of those, but again, I'm a little fuzzy from surgery, so I was just.
Well, I'll make sure all the purchase orders that were involved are.
Any more discussion?
Did they not get some award, 15 of them passed their, what was
Serve
it?
safe certification.
That's great.
It was.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer, can we vote, please?
Voting open. All approved.
Thank you.
Next item for consideration is consideration to purchase transportation vehicles. 8, there's a list attached of the vehicles that would be replaced. The total amount of the purchase would be $345,539. This is a combination of multiple funds. And also, because of the lag time we have on obtaining vehicles, even as we purchase, it takes a while to actually get them. this is to get us on a cycle that we actually be purchasing vehicles that we would need to put into service next year. So we're trying to be a year ahead when it could take as long as a year to even receive the vehicles. And there is a window to order. We were told that, if we can get and hit the window by essentially next week and make an order, then we have a high probability of getting the vehicles, but no guarantee. If we don't, then the probability of not getting them is high.
Do I have a motion on what you want to do on this?
I'll make a motion to purchase the vehicles.
Do I have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I'm having a problem with this because of the list that we looked at, we've got vehicles that's got 100,000 miles on them. I think, in my opinion, this board needs to make some kind of a policy up that says we don't replace vehicles until they get 250,000 miles on them. That's what we got the bus garage to maintenance and stuff for them. And some vehicles is used to go home with. And them vehicles, I think, needs to be changed over to a smaller vehicle if they're driving them home to save on fuel. So I kind of like to hold off, but put it back over on a workshop agenda again, even if we're missing the window.
My concern, like if this would have been 5 years ago, I would have probably agreed with you. But my concern is it's going to take longer to get these, and by the time we get these, those vehicles are probably going to have 250,000 miles on them.
I understand what you're saying, but
I do agree with you on the latter part.
Things is going to change. It's got to change.
I do agree with you on the latter part.
Administration-wise and stuff, so.
I guess my question is, the 345, 539, is that what's budgeted in that for next year? Because we're spending next year's money this year, correct?
It's in this, it would come from this year's budget. And also there is a gap also that would require the board to designate fund balance to close the gap.
Ms. Walters?
I know it's like gambling, but is there any way that the prices of cars will go down? I know everything else is going up, but it can only go up so much before it crashes. And are we spending $345,000 when it wouldn't take $150 next year? And we could get them in. It's a fortune telling, I know, and we haven't got that. Only the good Lord knows. Yeah. But would that still not go down if everything else come down?
Who knows? That's why I say anything that's got 250,000 miles, I'll support replacing it today. But if it don't have 250,000 miles on it, we're gonna keep driving it.
What do you do with the ones that don't make it to 250,000 miles?
Well,
Some of them
I
at
can
150
fix.
would be wore out.
Yeah.
It's poor maintenance in.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it is, because there's not a vehicle out there that you can't replace the transmission, you can't replace brakes, you can't replace anything that's in the thing. You see what I'm saying? I'm driving one that's got 300,000 miles on it. I know it's a piece of junk, but still, I can fix it and go back to the field with it.
have a fortune.
Any more
So,
discussion?
I'm against it.
All right, Jennifer, let's vote, please.
Voting is open. Passes with 3 noes.
All right, thank you. And now we're at other. Mr. Floyd.
There are no other items.
Okay.
Unless you have anything, Mr. Chair.
Only thing I have is Brad just texted me November 15th from 11:30 to 1 is a bookkeeper's luncheon celebration where they had a perfect score. So, and he's wanting to invite the board, if you can, to come and celebrate with the bookkeepers.
When was that again?
November 15th from 11:30 to 1.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. yeah, definitely our school bookkeepers and the work that they've done to accomplish that goal. As Mr. Hales pointed out, and I believe it's been mentioned, it's unprecedented. Usually there's at least some minor findings, whether, it's a procedural thing. In this case, our school bookkeepers were able to achieve no findings at any of our schools, so that's quite the accomplishment also.
And that's hats off to Brad too. He stays on pretty heavy, what I've heard.
Good support system in place.
Yes.
I thank y'all for restructuring that 5 years ago, because we've been able to dial it in farther every year.
And where was that lunch and that's what was?
Here.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the screen. There was no other, but on his printed copy, there is something.
That was that PO that we thought we had missed, but it was covered in the workshop.
Yeah, it was under the consent
It was
agenda.
under consent.
Okay, so we,
Sorry,
okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, all right, no problem.
I thought we had covered it.
Yeah.
All right, other than that,
I got a
Yes,
question.
Mr. Irvin.
I mean, I hate to bring this up again, but on this, Mr. Boyd, you said on the vehicles, we'd have to pull more money out of fund balance. How much are we gonna have to pull out of fund balance to go with this?
Right.
Right at $100,000 gap. Because even if the vehicles don't come in this year, we've got to earmark those funds. So this would be the funds that have already been earmarked for vehicles you've already approved to be purchased this year, plus the 340-some thousand that you're approving tonight. When you add all that together, we've got about a $100,000 gap. So should you approve this, and I guess you already have, but in the next budget amendment, I'll have to move about $100,000 into that, the appropriate expense line in that category. So that would be coming on.
One option that I would recommend too, as we look at the fiscal year 24 budget, we definitely, number one, what you brought up about policy, the only concern I have about that, setting a 250,000 mile, there should also be a component of, or if the vehicle is costing in repairs, there's an amount. But we can also look at reducing next year's budget by $100,000 if it's possible. I want Dr. Adams and everyone to look at the fleet, and if it is possible, that's what we should do.
Could you put it on the workshop? Would you mind if it on the workshop? Like Keith was talking about, those people that are driving home, if there's some way we can reduce, when we're looking at buying vehicles for the next year, that we can reduce
better fuel mileage.
bill of fuel mileage for those vehicles that are driving home. We'll put that on the workshop to look at that.
Yes, sir.
Did we not have the shields?
It's under
They were in the
consent
consent agenda.
Gotcha, thank you. Just want to make sure.
Okay,
All right,
yes.
One more thing.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Boyd, what have you found out about the propane buses?
Propane buses, we have, Dr. Adams, we received a list. We had a meeting with them, and they had action items that the vendor, so they followed up with confirming the action items that they're doing. They're looking at how they service the buses. They think their comments in our meetings where they believe that it might have been a misdiagnosis and they're using a different service provider, that they think they can fix it and the problem should be resolved. Time will tell. And then also on another issue, on the positive side of propane buses, we just commissioned, or we just were to the point, had the new propane buses, different vendor that are of propane buses that are on the road doing well, and we have those getting on the road soon. So, but yes, they believe in their statements, as they did their research. They thought there was some misdiagnosis, and when it was sent to repair, it was things that either didn't need to be done or wasn't done in the way it should be. So they're going to correct that.
And I guess basically what I was told, time will tell.
Well, that was my opinion, but that's usually the case. Yes, sir. We want to believe them, but at some point we will stop believing them.
Right. Only thing I want to add is don't forget our school visits for Monday, and everyone have a safe trip going to Nashville next week. So, meeting adjourned.
All right.
It's 2 for 1.
Now.
All right.